Happy Tuesday, everyone. My name is Lee Davenport, and I want to thank you for joining me for today's webinar. I am a real estate broker and coach with agents around Atlanta Plus, and despite our name around Atlanta, we definitely work with agents throughout the nation. So if you're joining us, whether you're from the Atlanta area or not, I am happy to have you. With our company, our passion is really to see agents excel in sales. So we offer one-on-one coaching, webinars, and in-office trainings. Visit www.agentsaroundatlanta.com for our freebies and to learn more about our services. Well, enough of that. Let's jump right into today's topic. So, first thing I want to share with you is this quote. It says, "I hadn't called my nephew in a while, but since he was having a baby, I figured he would need an agent. When I finally called, he said he was already under contract." And that was a quote from someone that requested our coaching services, and we were happy to help them. This quote is something that I never, ever, ever want any of you all to be able to say again. There is no reason that those that are within our network are working with other agents. So this brings us to today's webinar. It's from searching to sold, and specifically we're focusing on lead engagement. As you can see from the screen right now, this is a two-part series. We've done the lead generation portion of this, but we will do it again. So if you're interested, don't hesitate. You can always shoot us an email at info@agentsaroundatlanta.com, and we'll update you when we plan on hosting that next webinar, or we can also even offer this training on site for you, whether one-on-one or at your office. But again, to get clients to move from searching for a home to actually buying a home with you, or even selling their home, because whether you're working with buyers or sellers, this is applicable. The first side of this is lead generation. That is finding those buyers and sellers that are looking. But the part we're going to focus on today is lead engagement. How do you get them to work with you and not the next person out there? So let's get started. I have another quote. It says, "Research has shown that responding to a lead inquiry by phone within 3 minutes can improve lead conversion by over 100%. And responding with a combined phone and email campaign can improve conversion by 128%. Having both the marketing tools and processes in place to follow up on leads is key to increasing your conversion rates." And this is from the Director of Marketing, Industry Marketing at Trulia. So how fast do you currently respond to leads? Think about it. As before, in all of our webinars, I love for you to have your pen and paper or your tablet and stylus or your cell phone if you have a large screened smartphone. Whip that bad boy out and think about these things. This is a time of self-reflection. You don't have to share your answers with me or anyone else, but the key is that you understand where your business is so you can take it to the next level and you can increase your sales, not only for the rest of 2014, but 2015 can be your best year yet. So with that question of how fast do you respond, initial responsiveness is key. I want to give you a few stats just to drive this point home. First, believe it or not, real estate is the second online topic that is most searched for. That's phenomenal. So out of all the people throughout the nation that are jumping online, they are a lot of times searching for real estate. That's what that means. But it ranks lower than the government in responsiveness. So that means, unfortunately, us in the real estate industry, we responds slower than the US government. Now, if anyone has dealt with the US government, whether for taxes or any purpose, that might make you cringe, and that ought not be so in our industry, especially for those of us that are looking to engage and close with the leads we're working with. The second stat is 89% of consumers said response time was very important when choosing their agent. 89% of them. 45% said inquiries on websites never received a response. So almost half of the people that send requests about real estate properties never get a response. And that's horrible. 45% of consumers expect an initial response from an online inquiry within 15 minutes, and 56% expect a response within 30 minutes. You add those two numbers together, that is basically everyone. Everyone expects a response, some within 15 minutes, the rest within 30 minutes. But if you haven't responded within 30 minutes, there is a problem, and it's likely that this potential home buyer or seller will go with another agent. Let's stop that from happening. Here's a way that you can auto respond within 1 minute. 1 minute. First thing you can do, and if you need help setting these things up, don't hesitate, shoot us an email offline. This is a short webinar, so I'm just going to cover more of an overview of things. I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty on how to set things up, because that really could make this webinar go from 30 minutes to 2 or 3 hours, which we don't want to do, because I know this is in the middle of the day and you're busy. So to auto respond within 1 minute, there are 3 main things that you can do. 2 of them are free and you can set up today if you haven't already done. First and foremost, you should have filtered email auto replies. If you know you're going to be at a closing for the next 2 hours, or you're going to be showing homes all day today, there is no reason that someone should be able to send you an email and they don't get an instantaneous auto response. Set that up, and you can create filters so that if it's an email that is not in your contacts, meaning it's probably a new lead of some sort, you can have a specific message go to them. Or if it's someone that's already in your contacts, you can set up a separate message. So set up auto reply emails today. Second thing I want you to do is set up canned text messages. If you have a smartphone, a lot of times when you get an incoming call, you probably see some type of message similar to answer, decline, decline with message. If you have that option to decline with message, that means you can also create canned text messages. And if it's a number that pops up on your phone screen that you don't recognize, that again means it's probably a lead. So you can have a canned response to them that says something to the effect of, your call is important to me, but I'm in an appointment. I will call you within 1 hour or 2 hours, whatever is right for your workflow that day. Have those pre-written out, because as we all know, it is incredibly rude to be with a client or be at a closing and you're texting 2 and 3 sentences. But it's another thing when you can just hit a button and another button because that message has already been typed out. So start using canned text messages, pre-write them, load them into your phone, and now you can quickly shoot them out based on the number that pops up on your screen. The third thing I recommend is a virtual receptionist. If you're at the point where you financially can afford this, and it doesn't have to be expensive, believe it or not, Odesk, which I've listed here, that is a provider where you can find a virtual receptionist for as low as $2 an hour. So if you know it's a part of the day where you're slammed and you just cannot respond to a call, don't hesitate to schedule and contract with a virtual receptionist to take those messages for you. Because again, the key is that consumers expect a response, ideally within 15 minutes and definitely within 30 minutes. So if you want to engage with these clients and these leads that you've generated from the first part of our webinar, you've got to make sure you're responding and using automated technology. So those are 3 easy things you can start right now. The second thing we're going to talk about today is how do you locate where a lead is in the buying, selling process? How do you do that? Or do you do it? You may treat all leads the same. And if you're doing that, that may be a big indicator as to why you're not able to engage and convert more leads. It is extremely important that you stop and identify who each lead is and where they need to be in the process and how you need to engage with them. What I call this is our lead locator lanes. All leads are not created equal. If you've been in real estate for even a couple of months and you've dealt with different leads, you understand that some people are ready to buy today, some people are just looking, others already have agents. So it is critical that we start keeping leads in their lanes to stop losing those leads. We've got to define who they are and how we're going to engage with them. So I have 3 main lanes that I use to locate leads, and I recommend you do this. You can call them different names. These are just the names I've chosen. The first lane I have are the hotties. Some people label this as your hot leads or your A1 leads, whatever you want to call it. I call it the hotties. These are the people that are ready to buy or sell now. When you come across these people, I want you to follow up with them daily. It is okay to be pesky, and you've got to tell yourself, with people that are categorized as hotties, it's okay to be pesky. You can help them with their real estate goals right now, and they need help. So jump out there and help them. And here's the key. When you follow up with any lead, I am a big believer in you following up based on your personality type. And one of the more basic personality types is the DISC, D-I-S-C. We have a free guide that can help you. And what I'll do is I'll post the link to that at the end of this webinar on the webinar page, so that you can do a better job of engaging leads based on your personality type, because that is critical. The second type of lead lane that we categorize leads into is called the thinkers. These are the people that it's okay that you give them a little space. You don't need to be as pesky with them as you are with the hotties. These are the people that have maybe a life event coming up, such as maybe they are going to be an empty nester come May because their last child is graduating from high school and that child is moving out. Or maybe this is someone that just found out they are pregnant with triplets and they're in a 1-bedroom condo with their spouse. So this is something that maybe they're not ready to buy today or sell today, but they will be in the near future. These are the people that I want you to make a habit of following up with them weekly. You want to stay top of mind with them, and the way to do that is to connect with them weekly. Don't let these people be someone you only speak to once a year, because by then, like I started off in our intro quote, they will have already found another agent and be probably at the closing table by the time you follow up with them. So follow up with thinkers weekly. The third lane that we look for are the lookers. Now, this is the group that many people ignore. Many agents ignore this group, and it is to a fault. because these lookers may not buy this year, but they will buy. They may not sell this year, but they will sell at some point. These are the people you want to follow up with monthly. Again, it's all about staying top of mind. You've got to engage with people in order for them to remember you when they are in a position to buy or sell. And even if it's not for them, guess what? They might be a great referral source. So they may not need to sell their home this year, but maybe their neighbors are looking for an agent. And because you've consistently connected with them, they're ready to sing your praises to all of their neighbors. So the lookers are not the people you should ever ignore. There are no leads that you should ever ignore, even if you have to refer them to other agents, because again, maybe they're not in your network, maybe they're not in the area that you work, whatever it may be. There is still no lead that should come in that you ignore.
There are things in life that cause us to hesitate. But once we do that, we're really glad that we did. If you've been thinking about selling your home, don't hesitate. There's a shortage of homes for sale, and buyers are in the market. Every market's different. Call a realtor today and visit realtor.com.
So if you've ever seen this commercial by the National Association of Realtors on TV, you probably smiled as a realtor because you're like, great, you know, they're putting out promotions for us. But here's the issue. Now, this is a great commercial, but if you're not staying top of mind, and if you're letting different leads that come in be ignored, when they see this type of commercial, yeah, they'll jump on realtor.com, but it won't be you necessarily that they connect with. And there is a problem. That means we have to do a better job staying top of mind by staying connected on a consistent basis with every lead we get. Now, I know you're probably saying, okay, that's almost impossible. But I want to talk about systems right now that you can implement to automate this. It's not about always automating everything, but at least some of this can be automated. The other parts, you can schedule your contacts, but it is very important that we make time. And again, if that means we've got to create and use automated systems, let's do it. But if we don't engage with these buyers and these sellers, when they see commercials like that and they jump on realtor.com or any other website, you may not be their first call. You may not be their last call. They may just go with someone else altogether. So let me ask you now a question. What systems do you use to engage within each of these lanes? Now, you may not, again, have called your lanes what I call them. Maybe you weren't even separating your leads into lanes. I definitely want you to start doing that. But what systems do you currently use to engage with your leads once they come in? Let's talk about some things that you can start implementing. And again, this is a very short webinar. We're almost to the end of this time frame that we have, but this is also some information that I'm just going to give overviews about. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but again, as I said earlier, you are welcome to shoot us an email or even call us and get more information about all of these topics. You can email me. I'll put that out there now at info@agentsaroundatlanta.com. You can always follow us on Google Plus as well. But let me run through some of these things. And if there are any questions, you can put them in the box. And if I can wrap this up in the next few minutes, I will take those questions now. But if not, again, don't hesitate to email me offline. So plan, follow-up, and engagement. This is an overview. I really want us to get real in this process of selling homes. Here's another stat at the top. It says 50% of leads will convert to clients in 12 to 24 months. That is very critical to understand, especially if you're a new agent, because yes, you may have some people that look at a home and within a month you're under contract, but you're going to have potentially 50% of your leads that come in that it may take them 1 to 2 years before they buy. Anyone that's been selling real estate for that long, at least 2 years, they will say, yeah, I've had some people, well, hopefully they'll say if they've done a good job engaging with those clients, that those people that they may have met 2 years ago, it took 2 years before they were ready to sell or ready to buy. So it's critical that we have a 2-year contact system in place. And I want to, again, just go through some of these things that can help you. CRM is customer relationship management software. And all that simply means is, what software system are you using to engage with your clients and to manage your relationships with your clients? You really should be using a CRM, and that could be provided by your realty firm, your brokerage office, or you may want to find one from a third party, which are some of the ones I've mentioned here. In addition to CRMs, you should be using drip emails. A lot of CRM systems include drip emails, and all drip email means is, instead of you manually, day by day, week by week, month by month, having to send an email to a particular client, once you enter their name in a database, they're assigned a series of emails. So they may get emails from you for the next 6 months that either were pre-written by you or by the service. And they basically are getting a drip of emails on a regular basis. So drip emails are very important. And along with drip emails, I also like monthly e-newsletters. So a drip email may be more focused on first-time home buyers or move-up buyers, a very specific demographic. But your monthly e-newsletter can go to everyone in your contact database. And I'm a big fan of doing those, whether you create it yourself or you use one of these services that will prepare it for you. Here are a couple of the services that are out there that are fairly user-friendly. That's why I wanted to highlight them. And they are not too expensive, although they can be, depending on how many layers of service you add on. This first one I have listed is Exact Contact. There's also Salesforce, which many of you are probably familiar with. That's one for some people can be a little more complicated. So if Salesforce is too complicated for you, Exact Contact might be a better fit. Zillow Tech Connect is great if you are using Zillow to generate leads and you want it to automatically sync with Salesforce or some other CRM software that you're using. As I mentioned before, I like Odesk a lot if you want to outsource. Earlier, we were talking about outsourcing calls being answered, but you can also outsource someone to create your monthly e-newsletter. I know a lot of people don't always want to pay for the software packages because they feel those are a little pricey, but you could go to Odesk and again, contract with someone whose specialty might be blogging or writing newsletters. And again, you might be able to pay them as little as $2 an hour. With Odesk, you have an international audience. So you do have people that might live right down the street from you, or they might live on the other side of the world from you. And basically they bid for the different jobs that you post. So it's a great resource that I personally use, and I think would help you leverage your time better so that you don't necessarily spend all of your time trying to do these administrative things. Another thing is social media touches. A great service to help with this is Contactually. They have a free version that you can try out. And this is great because this will help you not feel so bombarded by keeping up with all of these different places you may be. You may be on Twitter, you may be on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Google Plus, and you've got emails. So contextually, we'll roll all of those things together, your emails included, and help you keep up with what's going on among not only your leads, but your sphere of influence, which may be your family, friends, coworkers, past coworkers, and the like. Another service is Reportive. You can add this on to your email and it will help you connect better with people. Sprout Social, Social Oomph, and Buffer. Those are some other sites. Again, I can't go into detail here, but I want to put these names out here so you can Google them, look into them for yourself and see, hey, I'm having a problem keeping up with social media and connecting with people like I should. So I want you to then Google these different apps and softwares and see what might be a good fit for you. Another area is to schedule calls. Exact Contact can help you with that. Contactually can help you with that. And another thing is if you are maybe working with relocators, it's great to use Ustream, Google Hangout like we're on right now, or even FaceTime so that you can add a personal element to your calls to your clients. Even if they live down the street, you may not have time to necessarily meet in person, but to do a FaceTime video with them can add a lot to engaging with them and helping to stay top of mind so that when they're ready to buy or sell, they think of you first. Another tool with in-person visits would be the Sunrise Calendar. I've already mentioned the Exact Contacts, but the Sunrise Calendar is something that you can download to your laptop as well as to your phone. And this will allow you to coordinate with people that are on Droid as well as on Apple. So this is a great way to sync calendars. And even if you're meeting someone for the first time and they're from your social media, you can now pull in their pictures from social media so you know what they look like. It just adds a lot to your ability to be able to engage with people so that they relate to you and want to use you when they're ready to buy or sell. And we can't forget about snail mail. A lot of agents still have a lot of success sending newsletters, postcards in the mail. I love technology, but I would be remiss in ignoring, just sending things through the mail. pgprint.com is a really good printer service. If you haven't found one that is inexpensive, they're really good as far as time, delivery, quality, and they always have discount codes. So you could do it very inexpensively if you decide, hey, I've previously had success mailing out postcards, so let me keep doing it. That's a good reference for you. So after we put together the lead generation webinar and you added to the things we did an overview of today for engagement, that will lead to client conversion. So when they're ready to buy, ready to sell, or if they know anyone that's doing the same thing, you will stay top of mind. And that's what this is all about. So thank you so very much for participating in this webinar. If you have questions, as I said before, don't hesitate. Shoot us an email at info@agentsaroundatlanta.com. We're happy to help. I'll also post on the Google Plus page the link to the personality-based booklet that I mentioned earlier. So again, thank you so much. It is 1:30, almost on the dot, so we don't really have time to take questions over the air. But again, email us at info@agentsaroundatlanta.com, and we'd be happy to help you. Thanks again for watching, and have a wonderful day.